Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm really grateful to be here with you, and I'm really excited to read for the first half of the month of November. And for those that are returning, thank you so much for supporting my channel. And new viewers, if you want to hang out, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyone is welcome. What I do, and I have a small format I like to follow. I pick what I call featured sign every day. I go around my zodiac wheel in order, though I have to contradict myself. This month I actually started with Pisces because there was such difficulty the last two readings, which would have been the beginning of October and the latter part of October, in uploading Pisces video. It was days, and it made sense because we had a whole lot of Mercury retrograde, and all the planets were retrograde at one point. There was like 5 or 6 planets. And now they're basically pretty much all stationed direct, which is so beautiful. But anyway, felt I really needed to do that for Pisces. So right now we're on the beautiful featured sign of the water element, moon-ruled, sensitive, romantic, emotional, moody at times, very, very aware and psychic and intuitive sign of Cancer. And it's kind of cool because actually as I'm recording this, which is the last 5 days of October, the moon went into Cancer yesterday evening, I believe. And before I go on too much further, I just want to address the new attire I have, or what do you call it, the embellishment, or whatever you want to call it, which I added to my wardrobe yesterday. In fact, I actually fell very briefly and quickly, and I broke a small piece of my wrist, which thankfully requires no surgery and allows me to do my readings with virtually very little pain. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. So I always like to add an uplifting spiritual tip for every one of my videos. And what I can tell you is, I believe I'm going to be fine. I'm not able to do my massage practice right now for about 2 weeks, but I honestly believe I will be back and better than before in the 2-week time. So that's where we're at. When you believe it, you achieve it. Okay, that's the tip. Watch and see. Okay, follow me, and you'll recognize this to be true. So, anyway, what I do is I do like to pick the featured sign, then what Spirit wants me to do right in front of you. It's always right, authentically, in real time. I pick a highlighted connection for you, Cancer, and this highlighted connection might be very well somebody you're very much in tune with or aware of or been in a relationship with, of all different categories for a long time. Or it could be somebody new coming in, and that's the exciting part about it. Or it's generally just that energy of that particular sign and their characteristics that are very predominant for you in the first half of the month. This is Spirit speaking. I'm a conduit for you. I do get messages. I do read the symbols. And I actually read the 4 major categories for this highlighted connection, but also for all of your connections of love, of whatever capacity that is. Because there's so many different ways to love and empower ourselves with that wonderful energy of love. And so that'll be done for the highlighted in all of your connections. And then I finish with oracle messages and inspirations, divinations that are absolutely beautiful and just, filled with love, really. So let's get started. Cancer, for you, this first half of the month of November, I kind of got beside myself there for a second. Your highlighted connection, information, and spiritual guidance is going to be with Virgo. I love this. I know so many relationships of all different categories. Once again, it's not just romance, but of course that enters into it, especially during Scorpio season that we're in right now, which is extremely good for you, Cancer, because that is your fellow water sign. So there's so much love of possibilities right now, or possibilities of love and romance and passion and physicality and intimacy and delving deep into ourselves and listening to our higher power. And the veil is so much thinner right now at the end of the month of October, notoriously every year, where we have these hits and these intuitive inclinations that are extremely powerful and strong. And what with you being ruled by the moon, Cancer, it's no stranger to you. So dreams can be very prophetic right now. Your wonderful gut that never lies to you is going to be very, very powerful and very helpful for you in many ways, and truth will be revealed. So Virgo is your highlighted, and that's your basically not quite your polar opposite, but it is a very different energy for you, and yet it works so beautifully. The two elements of ground, or earth I should say, which is Virgo, and water are phenomenal together. They work extremely well to grow and to expand and to work as more harmonious energy. And Virgo is a beautiful self-serving sign, hardworking, grounded energy that that true blue friend, the one that always organizes and has things, planned way in advance, and just very practical, kind of sensitive, and yes, but also pretty serious a lot of times, very hardworking, very much about perfecting themselves and bettering themselves, almost to a fault. You want to watch that with the Virgo teachings in a lifetime. If you have Virgo placements, you'll know what I'm speaking of. But just absolutely loving, caring, loyal, long-term friends and family members that are there to be there for you, and mutable. I mean, the Virgo is immutable, so not so much fixed, open to different ideas, Mercury ruled, so their mind is always open to growing and learning and educating themselves. Like they want to know it all. They want to know everything, and they usually do. See, they're like a walking encyclopedia. Remember those from way back? Or a walking Google, because they're just wanting to know and help, and they turn around and they give that help and that guidance to you. That's what really helps them and makes them feel whole. And so that is so beautiful because, well, you're a sensitive being, but you're very capable. You're a cardinal sign, Cancer. So you are a new mover, a doer, a shaker. You initiate the season of summer, and the summer is about the warmth and the beauty and the expression of, creativity and love, and you love family, and you love those that are near and dear to you, and you love the home. Home is like your castle, I mean, you're very comfortable being at home a lot of times, even though you may have to be out and about doing things socially for work and what have you. You really do cater to the home and the people therein, whatever your family may be, and you really care to provide, and you're very caring and loving and motherly is kind of an archetype for you. Male or female, doesn't matter. You still have that desire to just... A lot of people I found, a lot of the water elements, Pisces included, Scorpio, of course, we're in the season of Scorpio. They were okay with lockdowns and being at home more than another sign. They were like, yeah, DIY all day long, helping others, cooking the meals, keeping my house exactly as I like it, and the comforts, and feeling really, fulfilled with that sort of thing. And then there's the emotional part of you that's very, very evident, in the sensitivity where you pick up on people's feelings and you care about that, and they come to you for that. But protecting yourself. So you love security, you love love, and you love to be around people that fulfill that sense of safety. And you're definitely going to get that with your Virgo, whether it be the friend, as I said, or that family member you can always turn to. That'll be solid and there and, stable. In an unstable world a lot of times, right? I mean, one moment to the next, you never know exactly what will come around the corner. So I love that as a combination for you. I love that as a connection. So if you're not aware of this Virgo, remember it's the latter part of September through... I apologize, the latter part of August, like the 22nd, 23rd, going through the 22nd of September. So it wasn't that long ago we were in Virgo season. Maybe something important happened that really kind of woke you up, or, alerted you in some way about wanting to be more aware of your surroundings and being more grounded and practical in some aspect, perhaps with your body, and your well-being. So let's read the 4 major categories for this beautiful highlighted and all of your connections, as I mentioned. I am using the wonderful Gilded Tarot this month. I like to change up my decks from the beginning to the mid-month readings. And this is a gorgeous deck. I've always loved it. I haven't had it that long, but it's one that really feels wonderful to me when I'm using it. And so for you, the category is always the overall energy bringing you to the reading. I do encourage everybody of each, featured sign to make sure you read your moon, rising / ascendant, or Virgo. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Virgo, or Venus, because it has just that much more information, and we're way more than just our sun sign. We have 12 planets in our natal chart the moment we're born, with so much depth. So whereas you can have a lot of friends that are Cancer like yourself, and you feel the similarities, obviously, and that there's that foundational compatibility, there's always differences, within each and every one of us. So it's not as general as it may seem sometimes, which is what I aspire to and why I love it so much. But anyway, the overall energy as we're going into September, which is it's not a light energy. I mean, as a water sign, I think you're way more, like I said, sensitive. The moon, I mean, it controls the tides, for heaven's sakes. And it's just, about the cycles. You understand the momentum and the changing and the phases that happen every day in every life and every month and every year and the world, at large. You're a very integral part of the feeling of all this. And you share that with others. They turn to you in times of, what's your gut feeling? What are you thinking or feeling? Not thinking, but feeling. We were in a thinking era with Libra season. And yes, it is a detached in some ways, but of course there's emotion. There's love with the Venus aspect ruling of Libra. And Mars is still in Libra. There's a whole lot of Mars happening. We had a full moon in Aries in Mars a week ago from today. It's still being felt. There's power. Mars is the planet, the warrior planet, the planet of war, the planet of aggression and heat and fire and passion, and it's like it's out in the world, and I see it and feel it, and I like to remove myself from it a lot of times, but yes, I find myself probably more agitated than I had been. Mars is in Libra. I am a Libra. Everybody might feel it. Mars is not as comfortable in Libra. It's a little bit, subdued, and it's not able to fully express itself. But it is about fairness. It is about relationships. It is about justice. And that's so prevalent right now in the world and in individual lives. So that's very much a focus. But with Scorpio season now, my goodness, it's all about the depths and the transformation of changing ourselves. And Pluto ruled more modernly Saturn. That's absolutely transformation. And digging deep, boy, really finding the answers and the truth that works for us in our relationships and our lives, and bettering and transcending the difficulties and, the challenges, but being not detrimentally, but being determined to see it through, to the very end, and rising above again, the hardest of challenges. So there's a lot of wonderful, powerful energy. And then, of course, the second half of the month will be the lunar eclipse that I'll speak in more depth about. I spoke more about it to Taurus because it will be in Taurus, but we're going to leave that for the next month's, for the second reading in the second half of November for you. Okay, Cancer, I'm trying to spit it out. We do have that residual shadow period of Mercury retrograde in my sign Libra that all of us are still kind of feeling a little bit till like the 3rd or so of November. But boy, I do feel its momentum changing and a lot of the planets moving forward. There's some real ambition coming through before I even pull the cards. So the first overall energy for you and all of your relationships is the 10 of Swords. Absolutely. Listen, you actually have just had a point where it's all more than you could, it's done. Let me rephrase that. This is a beautiful depiction. But in the Rider-Waite-Smith, there is a person who's on the ground, and there's the 10 swords in their back. They are done. They have had overwhelming conversations that were extremely difficult or very confusing or very conflicting, of course, during the retrograde, where communication is so misunderstood, and you have to repeat yourself and then repeat yourself again because you can say, no, I actually didn't mean that. Or nothing was said at all, which is even worse sometimes because you're so emotional and you're so sensitive. You're thinking, wait a minute, why was that not said? Why am I waiting to hear the specific results or something? I mean, it's very, emotionally affecting you, apparently. And And I got to tell you, that's it. The 10 is the new cycle. You take the 0 away, it becomes 1 again, and it's new and it's fresh, and you're not going to let that happen. You're not going to be drawn in by that. You feel extremely powerful. That scorpionic energy is going to bring the power. You know, a lot of times the Pisces and Cancers are the more sensitive in the sense that they don't want to get too intense. They don't want to have struggle. They don't want to have these deep, important revelations of emotions and, you know, conversations that have to be brought in order to get to the other side, in order to better things. But it's happened, and it's you're done, and you're licking your wounds, and you're very happy to know that that part is over, because it's a phase. We all have them, and this happened to be a time with predominance of air where it was circling around you, and it really was hard to get away. But you can always, here's my spiritual uplifting tip of the day, you can always allow yourself that freedom by just being still and listening to your intuition and your higher guidance that's there every moment of every second of your life. And know that that's the past. That's how you're entering into the new moon and the whole new intentions of how you want to see your life, how you want to feel, how you want to express yourself, which is absolutely beautiful. You know, I love that. I really do. I think it's profound, and I think it's very understandable. So yes, keeping it real, but also knowing that, you know, this too does pass. So the second category is the possible blessings or obstacles. And so for you, with this new beautiful vindication of how, you know, that's not working anymore. This is what I choose, and I will create and manifest. And by the way, as water signs, you kind of have a you know, what am I trying to say? You have I was going to say a heads up, but that's not really what I want to say. You have a very special gift and opportunity to be aware and in tune, sometimes before an event or an occurrence or an energy that's very prominent. And that's what I'm sensing for you. So for your possible blessings or obstacles, you have the 4 of Pentacles, and this is the grounding energy, the Virgo, the Taurus, or the Capricorn. You know, we're in Scorpio season, and it'll be then Sagittarius and then Capricorn. So perhaps you're starting to feel that energy, and the Capricorn energy is very strong now. We have Pluto in Capricorn. That transformational energy is there in regards to your grounded, practical sense of life and the tangible, the security, the safety you yearn for. And you're actually at a point of possessiveness, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Scorpio and Cancers, I would say any crustaceanal, you know, symbolic sign has this tendency to want to hang on and to possess things because they love them so dearly. And I too have Scorpio in my chart and have my whole life, so I recognize that possibility, that aspect of me. It comes from love. It's strictly from love, and yet being aware that you have to balance that. You have to make sure you're not over, you know, protecting the ones you love, the ones you care so much about, you know, not being too terribly attached, because it's easier for everybody in the end. And that's what this does. This can represent that. It can represent people, money, possessions, you know, whatever you consider possessions, to be something you're not really willing to let go of or be that loose with, and maybe a sense of wanting to hold on as tight as possible. Well, it's understandable after what we've gone through. I'm much more aware of, you know, how I'm spending my money, but I'm also very aware of the law of attraction and the currency, and when you give, it just automatically comes back. I mean, you have to give to stores and to, you know, your community, and that's the natural, you know, flow of currency and life and so forth. So being aware that you keep that as balanced as you can, but in the meantime also being sensible and smart, so it makes sense. You know, it's not a terrible thing, but just being aware if you are being a little too attached or too concerned or fearful, which is not what you ever want to be, if at all possible, because that'll block your energy sure than and faster than anything. So yeah, the blessing or possible obstacle. Blessing is that you have this amount or this comfort or this security, and that's an amazing blessing. And making sure that, you're being sensible, of course, and smart, which you are. You're extremely resourceful and shrewd when it comes to money. And you're very capable of amassing great wealth and fortune. You have so many talents and things that you could do as a cardinal sign. You really are very capable. But yeah, that's just letting you know the obstacle would be just holding on too tight. And it kind of, like I said, find that balance for yourself. Okay, but it's not a bad thing here that you have that luxury and that energy of security and, comfort with you in your health or whatever it may be. Then we move on to the category of finances, which is comparable to this one. Let's see if it extends in the narrative, let you know that you're going to be okay, that you don't have to feel that that's it, that's all you've got, there's no more, because that's definitely a belief, and that's all part of what you choose to believe, and that's a whole nother video. But, there's enough for everybody. There truly, truly is. And having come from a background of believing that, we had to work super hard and, and there was only enough to go around and all this is just it's not real. And once you realize that, it just instantly stops that flow and brings in so much more. But fantastic. So for the category of finances, you have the Knight of Wands, and this is fire, boy. This is that Mars, okay? This is the passion and the energy and the drive and the desire to make things happen. And you need that in your life, and it's all very well to wish and dream and imagine and, fantasize, as a lot of water signs do, because they're that sensitive and that trusting about the unseen miracles of life, because they do exist. But you are just fired up about something, and it does have to do with a new initiative or a job or a plan or, travel or something that's going to instigate some kind of new, once again, new beginning with the 10 of Swords, right? Yeah, this is beautiful. It could be a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. That could have something very strong to do with it. But nonetheless, knights are messengers, and they're coming in pretty fast. They're the fastest moving knight in the elements. So I think it's exciting. I think you're really excited about it. I think it's a new endeavor, a new idea, a new inspiration, a new relationship that will cater to your finances. And you won't have to feel like, oh, I've only got so much. I don't want to spend it. I'm nervous, I don't know if I do that, what'll happen, and all those, the worry thing that kind of just puts a kibosh on what better things come through, Well, that takes that away, because they're like, this is going on. We're making better improvements and strides, and we've got the courage and the power and the strength and the energy to back us up, okay? So I love that. And honestly, with the Mars influenced new moon on the 4th in Scorpio, which is extremely harmonious for you, it doesn't actually surprise me. So yeah, just stay tuned and allow and imagine and put those intentions out. Write them down on the new moon. And you're going to be very, very, very satisfied, I think, with the opportunities coming your way. So the final category is that of surprises and wishes. And, we all know that surprises come along, good, bad, or otherwise. I like the ones we like to provide for ourselves and give to others. Those are always especially beautiful when we surprise people and with so many different things, just a smile or a hug or a phone call or a gift because it's a birthday, or a text saying happy birthday, or all the, the things that are just so maybe unexpected to people you haven't spoken to. There's that communication thing from the first coming into the month that has been really strained, I guess, and now it's time to heal that, and it's a healing time, and it's really powerful, and it's about being real and not being right and expressing ourselves, and really working on that. Because a lot of water signs are so psychic, they feel like people understand just the way they do without words, but words are essential many times. So let's see what your beautiful message and card for the surprises and wishes category is for you, Cancer. Well, it's Judgment. And this is so perfect. It's really, really perfect because it is a major arcana. And unlike justice, judgment is already done. It is rising from the depths, you know. It's our soul. It's our soul just ascending and knowing we've had the hardships, we've had the deaths, we've had the cycles, we've had the unexpected and the feast and the fathom and all those things. But we're at a place now, we're being beckoned to, you know, there's a horn here from the higher power, the intervention of source, you know, from the time we were raised and born and evolving and going on into our next life. Wherever you are in the phase of your life, there's inspiration and a decision that was made that is perfect for you. It's karmic, it's destined, and it feels right. And I love that. I love the intervention of that. I love coming up with my own ideas and inspirations and, you know, intentions and what I want to see happen and how I want to work with the universe. But I love it when, you know, things come through because of what I'm doing without necessarily knowing it, or even when I know it. And it's a confirmation that I've been heard. And yes, you are on the right path. You are in the right place. You are with the right persons. You are doing your best. You have arrived, you know, you're ascending basically. So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous card to get under the category of surprises and wishes. You know, I mean, it's happening. It may be slower than a lot of us thought. It may be quicker than a lot of us thought. It may have come in far different forms that we would have imagined. But it's here. It's done. The judgment is done. Maybe you're being more aware of not being as judgmental. You've decided for yourself, that's not who I want to be. And I'm going to ascend my spirit into ways that are open and exciting and inviting to everybody. You know, and that's the heartwarming aspect of it. That's your natural place, by the way, Cancer. So, yeah, just that wonderful, deep and loving understanding that's being provided to you from yourself, but from, once again, the co-creation there. Excellent, beautiful reading. Very different than the other readings. There's no similar cards that I've pulled for any other reading. There's a lot of real love and emotional fulfillment that could be had for you through the intensity, right? I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to read your first oracle, which is the animal medicine cards. And I know many of you Cancers love animals. I mean, they are so, so important in our lives and in this world. And it's like we're all animals and we're all in this kingdom together, right? To preserve and to help and to adopt and to be a part of that is so, so important. But the messages that the spirit of animals give to us is so beautiful. So I pulled these out for all the signs for the first half of the month of November. And your beautiful message is under the category of the pigeon. And every time I get this card, which I haven't gotten that much, I've only used this for the past year, maybe on and off. I always think of my grandmother that was a Cancer, who I think of every day, and I send a, heart love bomb. I send love bombs to the world and everybody every day. And yeah, she lived in San Francisco, and there were always pigeons around Golden Gate Park and one of the, the museums and the places. And I will always remember that and remind myself. But let's read more specifically what the pigeon, means and what the animal medicine card message comes through for you. So, in alphabetical order, going this way. There's been a lot of P's, by the way. Pelican and then pigeon. Nope. There we go. The words associated with pigeon are song, peace, and home. You're a very sentimental sign as well, Cancer. So song is interesting because music can bring us back to places and the feeling of that time, right? So very quickly. Pigeon knows how to come home. You might want to be listening to certain songs, or a message will come through from a song as well. Pigeons know how to come home. Drawing pigeon indicates a time to deepen your peace with where you come from. This can be done in your heart, even if your mind cannot align. Pigeon is dove in gray city's clothes. How cute, right? Pigeon is dove in gray city clothes, and like dove, brings peace, gentleness, and understanding with soothing songs and coos. Pigeon is present and peaceful, both in the beauty of Earth's nature and in the human cities. Even in a crowded train station or huddled under an awning outside of a deli to get out of the rain, it is possible to be a being of song, peace, and friendship. And that's who you are. I mean, you absolutely are all of those things. And of course you want the peace. And of course the energy of Libra has been shining on all of us before, just before Scorpio season. And Libra is still in Mercury, which is a way of communicating that kind of peace and love to people, as well as Mars, which is the fiery part of us that wants to exhibit and affirm that kind of love and peace, in a strength way, in a strong way. So that's gorgeous. I absolutely love that. And yeah, they always know to come home. And there's that reference to being sometimes a homebody, loving your home, appreciating what you call home, and the stability and the sacred security of a home. And now I'm going to read I just thought I'd put this in this month too, and it's because of the powerful energies that the moons will bring from the new moon of Scorpio, all of Scorpio season, and then of course the first full lunar eclipse in Taurus, which is, it's real, it's grounding, it could be so beneficial and so abundantly, prosperous and beautiful, with Venus being the ruler of Taurus and money being the notoriously known archetype for the sign of Taurus. It's, who knows, who knows? But your wonderful moon reference for the beginning is a new start is coming, new moon. Well, there you go. By this beautiful, incredible, harmonious water sign of Scorpio, as intense as it is going to be extremely important and fruitful for you. So write those intentions down. It's right around the corner, and it depends on when you're watching this, but I'm, like I said, recording this at the end of the October month, so it'll meld into November and continue. The energies just keep flowing. There's no switch, that you turn off energies. That's so perfect. I love that for you. Makes perfect sense. And I do want to ask, if you are enjoying and resonating at all, that you would follow me as a subscriber. Push the like once and just thumbs up me, share, whatever you want to do. It's so very supportive. It means a lot, and YouTube really wants that, for me to be able to continue and to grow and to expand my channel, because I really, especially now, don't really want to do much else. I want to continue with doing what I love and my passion. So thank you for, if you should decide to do that. Either way, I'm going to be doing the readings for you. You're always welcome. I would love to have you be a part of my channel. Your last category in your last card is going to be the Oracle of the Super Attractor Manifestation deck, where we manifest the life we want. And if anybody can do it through the feeling and the passion and emotion, it's you, Cancer. And that's the very important ingredient that must be part of the law of attraction. Okay, so remember, when you are exuding these emotions, that they're the happiest, the most good feelings, emotions you can exude, so that therefore comes back to you. And it's a vicious, beautiful, wonderful cycle. I said vicious. There's a little bit of a wrong word. I want to say just a beautiful currency of life. Give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. And so your beautiful message for the first part of the month, is I am kind. Oh my God. It's the pigeon again. It's you. It's coming through so strong. I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries, which is essential for you. It's super important, as you are so sensitive, and people gravitate, but you've got to keep those boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. I'm kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions, so that you can continue to put those out but receive them, and that nothing or anyone get to you too much We're done with that, okay? The words can cut, they can hurt, you know, and the lack of words can hurt even more. But you've understood this and you realize that that's not going to be how you see your future moving forward. And once again, there's that new moon. So I think you're really set on this intention, and I'm super happy and excited, and I'm very supportive of you. And once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my channel. It is my absolute love and passion to do this for you. So enjoy Halloween, and come on back for your second half of the month, because there's a lot of juicy information that'll be coming through, I'm sure. So until then, take care. Bye for now.